The Shadow Painter. English Story Level 6. Theo Noren lived in a forgotten alley where the street lamps flickered like dying stars. His tiny studio was cluttered with canvases splashed in restless colors, each holding fragments of stories he couldn't speak aloud. Theo had a talent. People whispered about a talent that both fascinated and frightened them. When he painted, shadows moved. He had discovered his gift as a child, when a simple sketch of a bird began to twitch its charcoal wings and lift from the paper. At first, the shadows he created were harmless silhouettes, drifting gently across the walls before dissolving into the air. But as he grew older, the shadows grew more defined, more aware, and far more powerful. One rainy evening, a woman knocked on his door carrying a box wrapped in weathered silk. Her eyes held an urgency that made Theo's pulse quicken. She introduced herself as Marin, a historian searching for an artifact said to contain a sealed memory from an ancient dynasty. When she opened the box, Theo saw a blank canvas framed in dark oak, its surface rippling like water. Marin explained that the canvas belonged to an artist who could trap shadows permanently, turning them into guardians of forgotten knowledge. The technique had been lost for centuries, and she believed Theo might be the only one capable of awakening the dormant artifact. Her voice shook as she asked whether he would try. Theo hesitated, knowing the risks. A painting that bound shadows could also release them, and not all shadows were benign. Still, something about the canvas called to him an echo from a distant place. He agreed, and Marin placed the artifact gently on his easel as thunder rolled across the sky. The moment Theo touched his brush to the surface, the room shifted. The canvas drank in the ink like a living thing, its ripples deepening. Shadows danced along the walls, responding to each stroke with restless murmurs. Marin watched in awe as shapes began to form, towers buried in sand, moonlit streets, and ghostly figures locked in silent motion. As Theo continued, he felt the shadows pulling at his thoughts, trying to seep into his mind. He fought to maintain control, focusing on the shapes he wished to summon. Finally, the painting revealed a single guardian. A tall figure draped in darkness, holding an orb of swirling light. The guardian stepped from the canvas, its presence heavy with ancient authority. Marin bowed deeply, recognizing the figure from legend. She asked for the orb, believing it to contain the lost memory she had spent years seeking. The guardian, after studying her silently, placed the orb into her hands. The moment she touched it, light burst outward, filling the studio with waves of warmth. When the light faded, the guardian returned to the canvas, sinking back into the painted world. Theo collapsed into his chair, drained but triumphant. Marin thanked him with a reverence that felt older than the city itself, promising that the recovered memory would change countless lives. After she left, Theo studied the canvas. Now calm and still, though exhausted, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. His gift, once a burden, had revealed itself as a bridge between worlds. From that night on, Theo painted not to silence the shadows but to guide them, giving shape to stories long forgotten and voices waiting patiently in the dark.